Today, we are going to talk about the silent twist, and the team members are Andrea Altamirano and Elena Juan.
So, the silent way is a method of language teaching, and it is based on the teacher should be silent as much as possible in the classroom, and the learner should be encouraged to produce as much language as possible.
The author Gagnon defined language as a substitute for experience, so experience is what gives meaning to language. Gagnon also discussed the importance of grasping the spirit of the language. It is referring to the way each language is composed of phonetical and supersegmental elements that combine to give the language its unique sound system and melody. In a silent way classroom, it is clear that silent way takes a structural approach to the organization of language to be taught. Language is seen as a group of some arbitrary associated with specific meanings and organized into sentence or string of meaningful unit by grammar rules. The sentence is the basic unit of teaching, and the teacher focuses on proposition meaning rather than communicating well. Students are presented with the structural pattern of the target language and learn the grammar rules of the language through largely inductive process. Also, Gardner sees vocabulary as a central dimension of language learning and the choice of vocabulary as crucial. He distinguished several classes of vocabulary, like the semi-luxury vocabulary that consists of expressions common in the daily life, and the luxurious vocabulary that is used to communicating more expressive ideas such as political or physiological opinion.
And the theory of learning that corresponds to the silent way is the cognitive code learning, because students learn to use their own thinking processes to discover by themselves the rules of language that they are acquiring. And also they formulate hypotheses, so the mistakes are inevitable.
The general objective of the silent way is give beginning level students oral and oral facility in the basic elements of the target language. Correct pronunciation and mastering of the prosodic elements, and provide the learner with a basic practical knowledge of the grammar of the language. The silent way adopts a basically structural syllabus with lesson planning around grammatical items and related vocabulary. It is clear that language items are introduced according to the grammatical complexity, the relationship to what they have been taught previously.
Learning tasks and activities in the silent way are to encourage and shape students' oral response without direct oral instructions and unnecessary modeling by the teacher. So the teacher don't use his or her voice. Instead of that, he or she uses another alternative to teach. For example, here we have a teacher with a sound color chart to teach the sounds of English.
By teaching, it means the representation of an idiom once, typically using nonverbal clues to get across meaning. Teachers silently monitor learner interaction with each other and may even leave the room while learners struggle with the new linguistic tool. Teachers are responsible for designing teaching sequences and creating individual lesson and lesson elements. The teacher is responsible for creating an environment that encourages student risk-taking and the facility learning. The teacher's role is one of the neutral observer, neither elated by correct performance nor discouraged by error. The teacher uses gesture, charts, and manipulate.
And finally, we have the role of learners. The role of learners in the silent way is basically discovered or created by themselves. The learning is made easier by the use of physical objects and by problem solving using the target language. So basically, here the learners are more independent autonomous and responsible in their learning.
The materials consist mainly of a set of color rods, color-coded pronunciation, and vocabulary word chart, a pointer, and reading-writing exercise, all of which are used to illustrate the relationship between sounds and meanings in the target language. The materials are designed for manipulation by the students as well as by the teacher, independently and cooperative, is promoting language learning by direct association. A silent way lesson typically follows a standard format. The first part of the lesson focuses on pronunciation. Depending on the student level, the class might work on sound, phrase, even sentence design on the file chat. At the beginning, the teacher will model the appropriate sounds after pointing to a symbol on the chart. The pointer is used to indicate stress, phrasing, and intonation. After practice with the sounds of the language, sentence pattern, structure, and vocabulary are practiced. After modeling the utterance, the teacher will have students attempt to produce the utterance and will indicate its acceptability. If a response is incorrect, the teacher attempts to reshape the utterance or have another student present the correct models. After introduce structure, the teacher creates a situation in which the student can practice.
The activity that we propose for the silent way method involves the use of a sound chart. As we see in the picture, each vowel will be associated to a specific color. A will be the color purple, E is going to be pink, I will be blue, O green, and U will be yellow. Without input by the teacher, the student should be able to relate the color to the vowel. We'll go through a few rounds of pronunciation drills, and then we will remove the vowels. By this point, the student should be able to complete the words based on the color of the background. Through the color, they should be able to identify the vowel and complete the word.